Hi everybody, my name is Callie. I'm one of the lead youth at Story Stitchers. This week we were listening to the voices of Black youth like me. Our hopes, our struggles, our dreams, and how we can make change in the world. Rise Up is about you. So we want you to support the youth at St. Louis Story Stitchers and the at-risk youth in your own communities. Through Rise Up, you've been listening to young Black voices on our podcast, Stitchcast Studio. Please follow us, like, and share. You can find Stitchcast Studio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any other major podcast format. I hope you enjoy the show.
I was 16 years old. I was caught at that fork in the road, like, I'm gonna go this way, I'm gonna go that way. And, one of my cousins whom I looked up to, he was murdered in cold blood, man. And that stuck with me. Just seeing how Story Stitchers are so adamant about creating awareness for gun violence prevention is something that will always be dear to me.
To actually have a venue that actually helps children that look like me, to give them a out to actually speak, to give them voice to what is inside and for everything that they've seen.
In St. Louis, where gun violence is so prevalent, I saw the underserved youth at risk, and then I saw how the performing arts could be part of the healing process.
It is very difficult because a lot of young men don't know how to speak their piece in a safe environment. So this gives them a way to speak it and not make it become violent.
I saw nobody else better to handle that particular deal than the Story Stitchers. And so for me, it became something that I needed to do, not just a job, but a mission.
Now, these young people, they get to come in and they get to decide what their artistic project is. I've seen photography, I've seen amazing poetry, and it seems to me that what people are more interested in than anything else is music.
Talk it out, we should talk it out. Listen, shh, can't you hear our voices now singing? We should overcome any stereotype. Not the ones to conform, but to give off light. We have the power in our hands, so we the people need to vote.
They get up there and they tell their stories raw and powerful, and they get to educate people in a real way that doesn't divide. It brings people together.
Seeing the intergenerational relationships, seeing the civic pride, the self-awareness, and just the dope content that was being pushed from Story Stitchers. I'm like, this is a dream come true. I love being able to instill knowledge into the next generation and use the arts to do it. And this meets all those needs.
Give as many which ways you can. Maybe you can put that Facebook video up and you can attach the donation to it, share it with everyone you know. Maybe you can give some money yourself. Whatever you can do to help, we appreciate it so much. We're in this together, and we'll get through it if we start acting in unity.
We will not be silent. It's time for revolution. No more violence. Put down the gun, we will not be silent. It's time for a revolution. Be ready, be ready, be ready for violence to stop. Get ready, get ready, get ready for change to come. Who's ready? We're ready for a revolution. Who's ready? We're ready for the violence to stop.
Who's ready?
Thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate all the support on everything that we do, and we hope you guys enjoy the show.
Yeah, thank you all for coming, actually. So my name is Emira. I am the new program director for St. Louis Story Stitchers, and we just want to say thank you. We just want to say thank you for being here. We have an amazing show lined up for you all. I just want to thank Wash U and the Brown School for having us. Can y'all give them a hand clap? Yes. So we're going to go right through the show. I will ask you all to hold all of your applause to the end, just because we have a Q&A at the end, and we will give you all the time at the end of the show to clap for us. Also, you are allowed to take photography, video, whatever you want to do. Just can you make sure that your phones are silent and your flash is off? That's all we ask. With further ado, we want to say welcome and enjoy the show.
St. Louis Story Stitchers in the building. What's going on, y'all? What's happening? Wash U. Make some noise, Wash U. What's happening? My name is KP. I'm about to do a song for you guys called Bangin' Tonight. And it's basically a cautionary tale talking about what's going on in our city. Can't get good rest at night when you live in the urban communities because you're hearing banging tonight, of sirens running up and down the street. So it's a message about that. Check me out. You know, sometimes people take it for granted that you can make it home after being in these crazy city streets. You know what I'm saying? Post-traumatic, schizophrenic, taking truth with panic. Close to static, click of bandits, came to flip the planet. They caught him red-handed, 45, semi-auto. Death wishing on a mission like it's no tomorrow. He hollow tip dispensing, follow, listen, pay attention. He bottled up with tension off the rip, your day was sentenced. Looking for repentance and redemption in this cold world of sad reality for urban boys and girls. Can't run from the sound of the clock, trying to get shot, fighters get found on the block. Just hit the ground when they pop, shooting for nothing, they wanna be down with the spot. Boy, all my life, man, it's the same fight. I'm sick of things going bang in the night. Can't run from the sound of the clock, trying to get shot, fighters get found on the block. Just hit the ground when they pop, shooting for nothing, they wanna be down with the spot. Boy, you know these bullets ain't got no names, right? Wish it was strange. Bang in the night. What's the maniacal? Well, tell me what's the impetus? Cause everybody present read Rama on the injured list. How you play the judge, jury, bailiff, executioner? Yeah, got a problem with you messing the solution up. Pain in the poverty permeates the bloodstream. Full blown addicted to shooting like you a trigger fiend. What you mean self-hating per usual? And if you see it differently, you're seeing this delusional. Sound of the clock, trying to get shot, fighters get found on the block. Just hit the ground when they pop, shooting for nothing, they wanna be down with the spot. Boy, all my life, man, it's the same fight. I'm sick of things going bang in the night. Sound of the clock, trying to get shot, fighters get found on the block. Just hit the ground when they pop, shooting for nothing, they wanna be down with the spot. Boy, you know these bullets ain't got no names, right? Wish it was strange. Put the gun down wasn't just another slogan. It's a way of life and the memory of the chosen. Mental health counseling cause families are broken. What can people do with all this pent up emotion? A whole lot of rage is the why of my city, bro. You ain't living next to the one who quick to spit 50, bro. Yesterday people lost some things, today get hit pretty close to home. Tomorrow all this might be gone. Can't run for the sound of the clock, trying to get shot, bodies get found on the block. Just hit the ground when they pop, shooting for nothing, they wanna be down with the spot. Boy, all my life, man, it's the same fight. I'm sick of things going bang in the night. Sound of the clock, trying to get shot, bodies get found on the block. Just hit the ground when they pop, shooting for nothing, they wanna be down with the spot. Boy, you know these bullets ain't got no names, right? Wish it was strange, hearing bang in the night. We got the blood of the young on our hands, and if we stay divided, then you know we can't stand. I wish it was sweet, but on me, it's plain scary. These cowards keep shooting, I'm seeing babies get buried. It's necessary that we stay aware of our survival. Pick up an occupation, try to interrupt the cycle. As if we let depression and anxiety prevail, that mean we fail to plan, so we planning to fail. Sound of the clock, run to get shot, bodies get found on the block. Just hit the ground when they pop, shooting for nothing, they wanna be down with the spot. Boy, all my life, man, it's the same fight. I'm sick of things going bang in the night. Sound of the clock, run to get shot, bodies get found on the block. Just hit the ground when they pop, shooting for nothing, they wanna be down with the spot. Boy, you know these bullets ain't got no names, right? Wish it was strange hearing bang in the night. Oh, you know I've been changed
The St. Louis story stitches has called my name. Whoa, you know I've been changed. The St. Louis story stitches has called my name. Whoa, you know I've been changed. The black storytellers has called my name. The black storytellers has called my name. The power story. Back in the day before technology, the storyteller would be right there in front of the fire. And then the backdrop would be the cliff wall, grove of trees. And as the storyteller starts, all of a sudden characters are developed, silhouettes. People see dragons and ogres and demons, the witch, the wizard, the hero, the heroine. The power story. The brain is hardwired for story. Let me tell you a story. As a matter of fact, 300 years of American history wrapped up into the blues. The piece is called True Blues. True blues ain't no new news about who's been abused, 'cause the blues is old as my stolen soul. I sang the blues in Africa when the missionaries came, passing out Bibles in Jesus' name. I sang the blues down in the hull of the ship beneath the sting of the slave master's whip. I sang the blues when the ship anchored dock, my family being sold on a slave block. I sang the blues being torn from my firstborn, hung my head and cried when my wife took my baby's life, then committed suicide. I sang the blues on the slave master's plantation, helping him build what? His free nation. I sang the blues from sun up to down, cursing the master when he wasn't around. I sang the blues when he forced my woman to bed. Lord knows I wish he was dead. I sang the blues on the run, ducking the dog and dodging the gun. I sang the blues hanging from a tree in a desperate attempt to break free. I sang the blues in all his wars, dying from some unknown cause. I sang the blues in church on Sunday, slaving on Monday, abused on Tuesday, accused on Wednesday, fried alive on Friday, and died on Saturday, sure enough singing the blues. I sang the blues in the summer, fall, winter, and spring. I know sure enough the blues is my thing. I sang backwater blues, rhythm and blues, gospel blues, St. Louis blues, crosstown blues, Mississippi goddamn blues, the Harlem blues, the hoe blues, the gut bucket blues, the up north cigarette cough blues, the down south strung out the side of my mouth blues. I sang the Pruitt-Igoe blues, Cochran blues, Vaughn blues, Dorsey Peabody blues, the East St. Louis blues, the Kinlock blues, the Ferguson blues. I sang the blues black. I sang the blues blacker. I sang the blues blackest. Now I sing about my show enough blues, trying to deal with all that madness, maintaining spirituality and a sense of blackness.
I come to thrive, I tell you why. Knew it was mine soon as I arrived. When I'm knocked down, I don't pout, I don't cry. Step up, get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. Like surprise, I must say surprise. I get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. I tell you why, we not alike. You tryna live, I came to thrive, I came to thrive. I tell you why, knew it was mine soon as I arrived. When I'm knocked down, I don't pout, I don't cry. Step up, get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. Like surprise, like surprise. I get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. I tell you why, we not alike. You tryna live, I came to thrive. Yeah.
Stuck in the middle of choices. My song got two different voices. I know I should try to avoid this, but I can't help, I'm addicted to poison. I'm scared of this fame and this fortune, cause I know deep in my heart that I lust it. But I crush it, and I flush it. I'm just in the middle of brainstorming. Come on, thoughts in my mind, tell me what happened. A couple years ago I was so happy. Way before marriage and way before rapping. Think like my dreams has hit a miscarriage.
Lost,
but I know I can manage. Scars on my body, some of them can't manage. I'm good with the bad and take nothing for granted. And trust in my Lord, cause he brings understanding.
I thrive, I tell you why, knew it was mine soon as I arrived. When I'm knocked down, I don't pout, I don't cry. Step up, get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. Like I'm up there, I get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. I tell you why, we not alike. You tryna live,
I can't thrive, I can't thrive.
I tell you why, knew it was mine soon as I arrived. When I'm knocked down, I don't pout, I don't cry. Step up, get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. Like surprise, I'm up there, I get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. I tell you why, we not alike.
You tryna live, I'm tryna thrive.
I'm tryna show you I'm more than just gifted. I'm more than my issues, I'm more than statistics. I'm more than the chasing the money and women. I'm more than the bundles of grace that they give. More than potential that's lost in the system. More than the criminal, more than the victim. That's more than the image. More than like shit, there's more to the morals, the stories you hear. How many first months I placed in the how many punishment life in the how many wish they got that but in how many wish they got that but in grace? How many wish they enacted a change? How many wish they enacted a what?
How many wish they enacted a change?
I tell you why, you was fine soon as I arrived. When I'm knocked down, I don't pout, I don't cry. Step up, get knocked down, I pop up like I'm up there, I get knocked down, I pop up like I tell you why, we not alike. You came to live, I'm trying to thrive. I came to thrive. I tell you why, knew it was mine soon as I arrived. When I'm knocked down, I don't pout, I don't cry. Step up, get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. Like surprise, I'm up there, surprise. I get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. I tell you why, we not alike. You trying to live, I came to thrive. I came to thrive. I tell you why, knew it was mine soon as I arrived. When I'm knocked down, I don't pout, I don't cry. Step up, get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. I'm up there, I get knocked down, I pop up like surprise. I tell you why, we not alike. You trying to live,
I'm trying to thrive.
I came to thrive, man. Hey, lately I done had this worthless feeling. I swear I hate this feeling. They got the highest of hopes. What if I can't fulfill them? Stressed, wonder how they measuring success and if I'm still considered blessed if I don't make the millions. They think that I could wake them up, tie your laces up and give it to them. Sex, money, murder, you can't tell me they ain't been influenced. I wake up in my living room, going through the names of some people that claim truth, but had to die before we listen to them. I'm sick and tired of people lies, sick and tired of people speaking lies and claiming truth. When they talk, it always equalize, just trying to equalize. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of seeing mama working. When she's sick and tired, it's clear that you don't want us to be reminded how we arrived. Fair warning, stories tend to change when read between the lines. The truth is out and in the open. Lives aren't meaningless, just meaningless cause they judge us and they don't really know us. Just what they show on news. Racist opinions breed racist feelings. Hatred turns breaking news to broken news. Now can you see the picture that I'm showing you? With these lyrics I paint a picture that's vivid. That's called the spitting image. Black lives matter. What the fuss about? Years done wrong by a system. It's time to stand. Try to thug it out. Now all lives matter. Wanna air it out. All lives important, but it's our lives that they don't really care about. Our lives that they don't really care about. Sad my people dying, sad my people crying, sad the only time my people feel they really got a voice is when they being violent. That's why they riot. At the same time I got a family. G's moving silence and I'm trying to stop the violence, sure, but let somebody try me. I might leave it all behind me. Black president got elected, had us guessing we was free finally. That's the biggest joke ever. And black on black crime ain't making it no better. We should know better. They trip off colors of the skin, we trip off colors of the shirt. Put your brother in the dirt, act like we so better. Why can't we see we do the work our oppressors? Give slugs to our brothers, treat our queens like they lesser. Why you advertise your body like your mind won't get you better? Knowing well that he gon' treat you any type of way you let him. You can't cope with that pressure, sit back and smoke that pressure. While you shame in education and look up to all the felons. They rather keep you blind, kill the ones that make you better. If they kill me for the truth, then make my words live forever, huh? My people playing lately, everybody saying shit. Ain't nobody said shit that's worth saying lately. Just a bunch of how much you need for that gram lately. If you shake that ass, throw this cash, cause I got bands, baby. But I digress, oppression falls on us, right? And I'ma tell the truth if it kills me. And it just might, but ain't no silence in me. Speak out to whoever, if we knew better, we do better. We gotta do better. We gotta do better. Why can't we do better? Like, don't we need better? Ain't we better? Why not be better? We gotta, we gotta do better. Thank you.
Perception isn't always reality. Make some noise for Brandon again, man. That was dope. Shit. This is a song I wrote a few moons back, but I guess it still stands today. You know what I'm saying? Check it. Perception isn't always reality. Perception isn't always reality. Perception is dangerous when you uninformed. The climate is hostile, can't stay calm. Perception isn't always reality. Perception isn't always reality. Perception is dangerous when you uninformed. The climate is hostile, can't stay calm. If I wore a suit and tie, could I run for president? Could they prosecute me for a crime with no evidence? When you look at me, do you see any type of value? How can I think universal when I haven't traveled? Never had a passport, so my vision falls short. Only time they pump me up is when we on the ball court. But when it comes to economics, it's a disadvantage. Limited windows of opportunity, quick to vanish. I manage by myself, but need a little help. My moves are calculated, contemplate on every step. Quiet is kept, the odds of living long ain't in the cards. We dying slowly every day cause the struggle is hard. What do you see? Are you dealing with reality? Is it the real thing or is it a fallacy? Because I'm in the hood, does that mean I'm from the hood? Because I dress well, does that make me all good? Perception isn't always reality. Perception isn't always reality. Perception is dangerous when you uninformed. The climate is hostile, can't stay calm. Perception isn't always reality. Perception isn't always reality. Perception is dangerous when you uninformed. The climate is hostile, can't stay calm. How did I become the leader of 1 million men? And if they really men, then were they meant to follow? It takes a good follower to make a better leader. We need believers, not perceivers. Race relations hollow. Broken bottles, vacant lots in my vicinity. Drugs, gang violence, and poverty stain my memory. Somehow I managed to smile, been through it all. I reflect upon my past, draw graffiti on the wall. Rest in peace, create a star underneath, I write my autograph. This is my culture, true American, thought of facts. From starter jackets to pro models to BKs, to Deodoras and Chuck Taylors where we stay. Get got for your J, so many ways we behave like a stereotype, and what we betray is a slave. Although we descendants, we must end it or stay suspended, living in a perpetual sentence of the perception. We can't make it if given the chance. When you look at the original, see greatness in hands. They danced with the devil last jam, now they soul searching. As for the public opinion, they showing no mercy. Perception isn't always reality. Perception isn't always reality. Perception is dangerous when you uninformed. The climate is hostile, can't stay calm. Perception isn't always reality. Perception isn't always reality. Perception is dangerous when you uninformed. The climate is hostile, can't stay calm. He thought I was guilty, cause I had my hoodie on. No, not even once did he ever think he could be wrong. Man, he said I stole something, cause my pants was too baggy. I'm too dark skinned, the police keep getting at me. I wonder why is your perception my reality? I ain't even eating good, but still I'm burning calories. Look at the difference in our infant mortality. We dying in these streets, 194 fatalities. How many look like me? Racial disparities impacted. Media bias and make my people look so backwards. State of emergency gets distracted with coronavirus over. My life is a purchase for stockholders, cause the rich control the market, the poor become the target. We struggling to live while they strolling the red carpet. Got your degree, but does that really make you smart? You a nurse or a school teacher, that don't mean you have a heart. Do it. Perception isn't always reality. Perception isn't always reality. Perception is dangerous when you uninformed. The climate is hostile, can't stay calm. Perception isn't always reality. Perception isn't always reality. Perception is dangerous when you uninformed. The climate is hostile, can't stay calm.
I remember that day when we were in the sun, but you had that gun, and so I looked into the distance and said, there's no need for that. We're just having fun. But then you looked at me and said, this
is what makes me a man, and you wouldn't understand.
And I didn't. I didn't understand how a piece of iron could make you more of a man than what you already were. But then it came to me, days later, of course, that you were searching for something, lurking over your own shoulder, trying to find answers from your past, so you'd hide behind this mask, thinking that your broken smile would get you by. But not for long. Because then I came along and tried to pick up the broken pieces that you had left behind. You see, time after time, I told you to listen to your right mind, but you still went left and left pieces, broken pieces. And you could never find the whole you. So only half of you lived while the other half died. You grew cold and began to lie about everything just to deny your pain. And so it crippled me to watch you grow sour. Because I told you I'd said I'd seen this sight before. September 11, 2001, the only difference is you were the building and your boys were flying the planes. You made your life stand still so they could burn you down. And word around town is you're killing now. Not with the newest J's or with puns and punchlines. They're telling me guns and caution tape, but I'm still trying to remember what happened to you not joining a gang, because here you are again behind another cell. And then you tell me I killed him because he was trying to take my cells. And see, there I knew you'd never be the same, because you had some type of beast inside of you that couldn't be tamed. So I decided to stay in my lane. I wanted no part of your games. No Bonnie, no Clyde. I just wanted the old you back. But we couldn't see eye to eye.
We couldn't see eye to eye because I don't think you understand. The world doesn't welcome with open arms, only open hands. Perception is not always reality. You see the world through a broken lens, and if I see the world as broken, that's because broken is what it is. Now maybe I shouldn't have joined a gang. But either way, this game is to the death. I'm looking over my shoulders for enemies. If I don't, those memories of me are all you'll have left. You think it's bad that the new me compared to the old me seems worse? Because I look at me all the time, and I promise you I've seen worse. This is not a movie. There's no rehearsed scene for the rehearsed scene. That's not how the scene works. You know what I think is worse than me killing the game? The game killing me first, but put the guns down, right? We're just having fun.
And so let's say I put them away and then I'm unprotected. And even when playing, mama always said you can never be too safe. So sure. Sometimes I miss the old me, but the old me barely knows me. The good die young, I'd rather live slowly. If only you could show me why you miss the old me. I've grown up, I've slowed down. Can't you see that this a old me? I'm in too deep. The more I struggle, the more I sink. The more I love you, the more I think. The more I think, the more I dream. The more I dream, the more I struggle. The more I struggle, the more I sink. And I want to reach out. But I'm afraid that if you grab this hand, I'll only pull you down. And I don't want to take this chance. The more I struggle, the more I sink. Don't you understand? This is quicksand. And I've tried to keep this life from around you. Nobody's ever brought anybody out of quicksand. The person drowning only pulls you down too. Don't let me pull you down too.
Voice smooth as butter. She always told him that he reminded her of Sam Cooke or Marvin Gaye. A voice longing to be heard like a bird in a cage, but he was like a gun. Yes, the thing he played with for fun. They both popped off for any second you triggered them. The only difference is he was her best friend. See, the last time they spoke to each other, it was 2016. He called her phone crying. Sobs filled his mouth like water filled the cup. A gun in the hands of a child, he said, I'm trapped. Trapped in society's cage. Crying and crying, longing to be heard when a cage bird sings. Earlier that week, they had met up at a park. He had an ankle bracelet on his left leg and called it a gadget by Tony Stark. She said, best friend is probably why cage birds don't fly. He said, baby girl, stop being so naive. I'm on house arrest for robbing this guy, held him at gunpoint. See, he needed to rob. He needed the money. He needed his mom. A cancerous cell expanded throughout her body. She then lost her job. Hurting more than helping, mom's little hero, so she won't end up dead like his big brother Theo. You have one new message. Baby girl, can you please pick up your phone? I know how you feel about promises, and I know I broke our promise. I told you I was going to get back into school and play my favorite sport, but school ain't working out for me, you know what I'm saying? And I know I told you that I would call you when I made it home, but I ain't never made it home. See, the other night some guys approached us, and we then got into a gunfight. We lit up the sky like it was 4th of July. We didn't stop until we heard somebody cry. It was my homeboy. He died in my arms at 11:05. We rushed him to the hospital. Baby girl, did you know he was his mom's only child? Baby girl, did you know he was valedictorian at his high school? Baby girl, did you know he had a full-ride scholarship to a D1 college? Baby girl, there's a gun in the hands of a child. Baby girl, there was a gun in his hands and he was just a child. Baby girl, there's a gun in my hands and I'm just a child. Voice smooth as butter. I always told him that he reminded me of Sam Cooke or Marvin Gaye. A voice longing to be heard like a bird in a cage, but he was like a gun. Yes, the thing he played with for fun. And I haven't spoke to him since 2016 when he called my phone crying. Sobs filled his mouth like water filled the cup. A gun in the hands of a child. There's a gun in my hands and I'm child. I'm trapped.
They soar like eagles. They sing like crows. And they hawk through our streets. As daylight sings, darkness sings his bitter song. Children playing in the streets, their older siblings out hot in the heat. Mama trying to tell them to cool down, but they won't listen until they hear mama scream. The sniffles from her nose, riots out of control. R.I.P. MB on clothes. Police can hardly gain control on TV like a show, but they only show when fools are being made and not the making of greatness. You see, his death is not in vain. New voices have rearranged a chain of events, and for once we're slowly starting to see change. Badges next to cameras, cameras next to temple. Now you don't have to be a scholar to think twice before squeezing your chopper, or at least we'd hope. To cope with the pain of still, some still tope. You see, his death was not in vain, but some still cope. So they shoot at the sky, because hell is too hot and fire is without reason. So those bullets still soar. They sing like crows and they hawk through our streets. Night is today, as bitter is to sweet. As we sleep, pistols breach the integrity of our communities. Broken unity calls for broken relationships, which brings broken people. More trauma as time passes, more than one would ask, more than one wants to see, and more than we were taught to speak. So lonely nights he thinks about MB, how he wants to change this contradicting system, not just the laws, but the people that come with them. But then he remembered that he's a felon with every right but the one to use his voice. So back to hiding behind his tote he goes with words choked out of his throat. Now his heart's too cold to provide tears for his eyes to cope. Back to prison, or at least they'd hope. So they still soar. They sing like crows, and they hawk through our streets. As daylight peaks, darkness still sings songs that are bitterly sweet. Those who can see and have the courage to speak have helped us continue our journey where we hope to find peace. Mike Brown's death didn't just show us that there is a gun problem in the police force, but in our communities where little kids are forced to grow up faster than they should. Let these senseless acts of violence encourage you to be the change that you want to see. Do it for the ones that cannot, the ones that want better, even the ones that don't know better. Because I would do it for all 4 of my friends who were shot and killed in 2018. And 3 of the 4 will never get to see 21. And here I am, 22, wishing they could see it. Wishing we didn't have to grow up so fast. Wishing we could have grew up outside of the system. But they still soar. They sing like crows, and they hawk through our streets. When night turns to day, I hope that every blind eye can see how high death sings and why mama screams. Thank you. Yeah. We got a song coming up. Oh, my bad, y'all. 1 second.
You got me, B?
Most def.
Let's do this then. Dear shooters and killers, my people wanna live. Don't tell me how it is if your life ain't positive. Sometimes we gotta give back just to go for it. Too many homicides, people lives cut short. Don't shoot, don't shoot. And I ain't gotta be your brother. Don't shoot. No bringing flowers to your mother. Don't shoot. Not over money or no color. Cause you and I you happy, itchy trigger finger on a teeny bopper. Barely 17, but making crime scenes with a chopper. Spitting 50, he's a gunner, young shooter. Who to blame? It's a shame when he put the thing to you, Freddy Krueger. Super predator, America cuss nightmare. City full of white sheets, the battlefield is right there. Every hood and complex, low income and projects. Breeding ground for post-traumatic stress, you could die next. Everybody need to check, society is under siege. Time to pick the city up, you wanna go, then come with me. God will stay run the streets, these shifty dudes who come with heat. Brothers die from ballistic trauma like it's on repeat. Is this the same tragedy I seen a million times? Don't get mad at me, cause the city done seen a million crimes. Still don't nobody know nothing like it's the G code. Or intimidated, afraid they could be exposed. Shooters and killers, my people wanna live. Don't tell me how it is if your life ain't positive. Sometimes we gotta give back just to go forward. Too many homicides, people lives cut short. Don't shoot, and I ain't gotta be your brother. Don't shoot, don't bring your flowers to your mother. Don't shoot, not over money or no color. Cause you and I, we need each other.
Hey. In person, can't trust a killer, they slither like serpents, contact like a surgeon. I wonder why murder, worth it or worthless. I'm working, I'm burdened with purpose. But dog, I've been trying, I promise y'all I've been trying. No truth in the life that y'all buying. Her G's moving silence, but why they be violent? Losing my friends cause they dying. Cops bullets flying, we riot. Our bullets flying, we quiet for real. No, really, that's the right move. The way they cocking and pop between the thuggers and coppers. I mean, I probably catch a bullet out of high school. I mean, I probably catch a case out of high school. I mean, I probably lose my way out of high school. All my friends getting slain out of high school. What if I don't live a day out of high school killing? How strong do I have to be to survive me? I'll live my children. Had I known this, would I have any children? Just so they could put them in the dirt and to make matters worse. Triple posted on the corner like a bus stop. Kids that without a warning on the bus stop. Send kids every morning to the bus stop. Gunshots wake them up like alarm clocks. Nothing new here, this what they do here. Tools flare, light them up like it's New Year's. People kill her, even when you trying to chill her, it get real her. And mama been patient, mama been waiting, mama been praying. Mama, why you praying? She praying I live to see my old age. When them kids don't live to see their graduation. So
hey, my people wanna live. Don't tell me how it is if your life ain't positive. Sometimes you gotta give back just to go forward. Too many homicides, people lives cut short. Don't shoot, and I ain't gotta be your brother. Don't shoot, no bringing flowers to your mother. Don't shoot, not over money or no color. Don't shoot, cause you and I be a brother, a shooter, whatever we are in this life. Is there a resolution? Cause confusion is in plain sight. Can't fist fight, as if I piece you up, it's gonna be gunplay. When people get caught in their feelings emotional, taking off like it's a runway. But one day, this world gon' see my hood get back its neighbors. And teens gon' show promise instead of criminal behavior. Can't mayor, too much integrity to deal in politics. They say I made it 360, not really, I just polished it. I reinvented the image, not only gangster, professional in front of it, brother, the real danger. Don't let society shape your mental pictures. Perception ain't always truth. You want truth? I'm to the stitches and we tell you to tell. We tell oh so well. It's just too much shooting in the STL. Last night's gunfight killed a man and his kids. Now dear shooters, keep it 100. Can we live, dear shooters and killers? My people wanna live. Don't tell me how it is if your life ain't positive. Sometimes we gotta give back just to go forward. Too many homicides, people lives cut short. Don't shoot, and I ain't gotta be your brother. Don't shoot, I was to your mother. Don't shoot, hey, not over money or no color. Don't shoot, why? Cause you and I might need each other. Hey, thank you, yeah, dear shooters.
Yo, I'm scratching, I'm fighting, I'm biting, I'm pulling, I'm turning, I'm ripping, I'm trying to get my footing. I'm learning, I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm practicing, I'm focused, I'm resolving, I'm afraid, but I have to win. In this game called life, but am I living life? No. Expectancy is so low, it's called survival.
I became a supervisor. We all load up in the MRAPs. Trip takes about 3.5, 4 hours. Brightest day. About an hour in, we hit this little town. Prior to it, you receive training about what roadside bombs look like, how they're planted. This story happens in about 10 seconds. I'm sitting on the left. The lady's outside the window on the right. We're stopped. She's dressed in white. She's bent over on the side of the road. In my mind, looks like she's digging something. There's people around her, but no one's paying attention to her. Seems odd to me. My mic is on. I'm cued to only the gunner who's on the top. Seems like forever, but within 3 seconds, the gunner turns, sees the same thing that I do. I hesitate. I don't tell him to pull the trigger. I'm nervous. In a moment, you have to decide on whose life is more important, your soldiers, your team, or this lady. I hesitated. The gunner is still pointed at her. We both see the same thing. The gunner maybe has a 3-foot advantage over me because he's higher on top of the vehicle. By the time another 5 seconds passes, a kid stands up on the side of the lady that we couldn't see. It was a mother helping her kid. In my eyes, it was someone putting a roadside bomb on the side and was about to destroy my vehicles. 10 seconds ago, I wanted my gunner to shoot. 10 seconds present, I was scared and I hesitated because of my decision. That was 2008, 2009. 2018, I can tell you it was a clear day. No clouds, dusty. She had on something that was white. I had on sunglasses. The soldiers couldn't see me because they're facing me and they have no idea what's right behind them. I didn't tell them till 3 years later. It was a sunny day. She was wearing white. I was crying. My gunner saw the same thing. That memory haunts me every single day. In counseling, they call it survivor's guilt.
Yeah, that's deep. But now on a lighter note, we're gonna talk about how to escape this. So you know the St. Louis Story Stitches gotta be that deal when we can make a rap about the prairie and make it straight up hip, fun, and exciting. So listen to the wordplay. It's my man Integrity going straight to the prairie. You know what I'm talking about? Way out there, away somewhere.
Way out there.
Yeah. Purple, yellow, blue, so many colors in this habitat. Even though I'm city slick, I'm not afraid to travel back. Way out to the countryside, hit that native grassland. Tranquil in the sunny meadows, we thought we was advanced. Ain't no sounds of ambulance, sirens or the boys in blue. Tonight devoid of gunshots, but nature makes some noises too. The moist dew saturates the green pastures, which flows like the motion of the waves in the ocean. To master this environment, acquiring and managing, restore it to its original state that it was planted in. So if the planet ends, at least you saw its majesty. Put your phone on airplane mode and we'll be right back after these messages. Perception is a barrier, connect for real. The wilderness is therapy, escapism that lets you chill. Historic regions where the wildflower stretches, warm season, grass species, territory so precious.
Come on, let's go, let's take a ride. Hop in the car, take a drive
to the prairie.
Where the grass always green on the other side
at the prairie. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go.
Let's on the adventure. Let's venture the green past
at the prairie.
Solidarity, nothing but smiles and laughter
at the prairie. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. The tall grass nearly 6 feet, non-woody acre after acre. Take a quick peek. You ever see the stars at night without traffic and street lights? It's like we in that Milky Way without passing that peace pipe. Coyotes and coyotes, prairie dogs and buffalo. Educate and investigate, cause this all depends on what you know. So cultivate and we procreate. We indigenous to the show we state. We authenticate but we demonstrate. It's just one rule, don't be fake. This rich soil, substrate, glaciated like ice age. Think I need to get away from on my hood where I stay. We protect that wildlife, the game is restoration. Trees is only 10% cause we keep them fires blazing. Domestic tranquility, let's meditate and we feel the breeze. Burn the trees and we hunt with ease with our maples, oaks, and hickories. Native Americans settle the land and the prairies are evidence, evident fact. Nothing to stress with this life in the city. Get up on the highway, cause I'm
Come on, let's take a ride. Hop in the car, take a drive.
At the prairie,
where the grass always green on the other side.
At the prairie, come on, let's go.
Oh,
come on, let's go.
Oh,
come on, let's go. Hey,
hey, on that adventure, let's picture the green pastures.
The prairie,
solidarity, nothing but smiles and laughter.
At the prairie, come on, let's go.
Oh,
come on, let's go.
Yeah,
come on, let's go. St. Louis,
we
going straight to the prairie.
Straight to the prairie.
This is going straight to the prairie.
We going straight to the prairie.
We going straight to the prairie.
We going straight to
Brown
the
school
prairie.
going straight to the prairie.
Straight to the prairie.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's go. Hey.
How y'all feeling? Y'all can move around a little bit
Y'all
more
can
for
clap
this
your
joint, you
hands
know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I've been drowning in sorrow-filled water fountains, not asking for pity parties, no party partners around, but I calculated the odds of what good is knowing to count. When I count it up, count it down, I've already been counted out. It don't matter. Show too much in my valor, give up in hard times I haven't, but from the data I've gathered, rumor has it the caption act like they captured, the captions act like they captured. Ain't never been down with movement unless the movement is backwards, but I'm ready.
We ready.
Hey.
We ready for the violence to stop.
To stop.
Get ready. Get ready.
Hey.
Get ready for the change to come.
To come.
Who's ready? We ready.
Hey.
We ready for a revolution.
Revolution.
Who's ready?
Hey.
We ready. We ready for the violence to stop. Come on.
Who's ready?
We ready.
Who's ready?
We ready.
We ready.
We ready.
We ready
Come
for the
on,
violence.
sing it with us. I said,
who's ready?
we ready.
Who's ready? We ready.
Hey, ready for the violence to stop. Come on.
Looking in my city and I see it is in trouble. Instead of facing each other, they out here facing muzzle. People dropping left and right, I'm seeing families crumble. We gotta help each other cause we all part of the struggle. While we hurting each other, I look and I see double. There's so much hurt and hopelessness that lies beneath the rubble. But if we set aside our differences, we can make change. We just gotta be humble, make our way through the rain. Cause I don't know about you, but I'm tired of seeing pain. The gang banging and souls, gun violence beyond lane. We're not trying to save our city, then we're living in vain. Got people out here taking lives like it's a video game. So what I'm saying is just make believe cause anything is possible. And if we work together, we can obliterate these obstacles. Put the gun down, get up, and join this movement cause there's strength in numbers. So let's get to it. We ready. We ready. We ready for the violence to stop.
To stop.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready for the change to come.
To come.
Who's ready? We ready.
Hey.
Ready for a revolution.
Revolution.
Come on. Ready. Sing it with
Alright, we're gonna try this again.
We ready for the
try this again.
Everybody,
Who's ready?
we ready.
Who's ready?
We ready.
We ready.
We ready. We ready for the violence to
Okay,
stop.
look. Who's ready?
We ready.
Who's ready?
We ready.
We ready.
We ready.
Hey.
We ready for the violence
Get
to
'em.
stop.
With the R-E-V-O-lution, the kids of the future, the change to come. Put the gun down, stop aiming at our heads. Don't put us in the dirt, feeling like a target on a story stitch shirt. But we can talk it out, we should talk it out. Listen, can't you hear our voices now singing? We should overcome any stereotype. Not the ones to conform, but to give off life. We have the power in our hands, so we the people need to vote. The biggest generation has the hardest time trying to cope with pain. Seems like every other day it rains in my hood, but somehow we still singing that it's all good. It's not. Black on black crimes got my city in the prime of its worst time. I'm hurt time, cause we fuck time with a beast. Instead of slang a lie if they complain about the streets. Don't give up on us now, just to start us on your knees. Yeah.
Hey.
Put down the gun, we will not be silent.
I don't know if they
Come
ready
on,
for it.
it's time.
I don't know if they
Come
ready for that
on.
change
I
that
don't
we talking about.
Me either.
You know what I'm saying? I
Put
don't know
down
if
the
y'all just ain't
gun.
lost enough people like we have.
Come
I don't
on.
know what it
I
is.
need everybody to clap their hands if they're ready for it to stop.
We ready. We ready.
We We ready for the violence to stop. Get ready, get ready, get ready for change to come. Who's ready? We ready. We ready for a revolution. Who's ready? We ready. We ready for the violence to stop.
Who's ready?
Yeah.
Who's ready?
We ready. Let's get it. Hey, hey, let's go.
Hey, 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 hey.
I done came a long way, now I'm not wasting time. I got better things to do, and I got money on my mind. Tired of all the drive-bys, losing friends to homicide. Put the city on my shoulders like a new Louis Vuitton. It's time to pick the city up. It's time to pick the city up. Yes, about time. Get it. Know a lot of things, how I'm a beast in these streets. I won't walk what I slang, how they talk about me. But see, you don't know everything, I got a plan, do you see? Tryna move my partners, take them off the scan, do you see? Yeah, I'm tryna teach you well, tryna keep them out of cell. No more serving clientele, right on just to pop a bill. No more profit, that's the numbers, or eating out at McDonald's. Tryna move them out the hood, and take them to the bums. Let me tell you a little something about me. I used to run around 40, 40. In the city with no peace, no sleep. I know you see me hands up, don't shoot me. Now I come around and salute me. Got everybody call me the little queen. And if you see what I seen, then you may know what I mean. Came a long way, now I'm not wasting time. I got better things to do, and I got money on my mind. Tired of all the drive-bys, losing friends to homicide. Put the city on my shoulders like a new Louis Vuitton. Time to pick the city up. Yeah, it's about time. It's time to pick the city up. Yeah, it's on my mind. It's time to pick the city up. Yeah, it's about time now. I know I said yeah. Shout out to them boys posted on the dub, 'cause we got it up in blood and won't afraid to show no love. Yeah. Shout out to them boys posted on the O. Shout out to the bros. Shout out to the boys. And you know I'm rocking with the folks. Stand to the guild, that's my fan. Just clear up, I know you may look good. These words I speak to you may keep our brothers off the news. Shout out to them boys out there wanna park, who ain't afraid to let it spark. Let them know just who involved. Started by changing the walk and how you talk, and think me before you react and set it off. I done came a long way, now I'm not wasting time. I got better things to do, and I got money on my mind. Tired of all the drive-bys, losing friends to homicide. Put the city on my shoulders like a new Louis Vuitton. It's time to pick the city up. It's time to pick the city up. It's time to pick the city up. It's about time. Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, let's go. Yeah. Okay. Hey.
I done came a long way, and now you're not wasting time. I got better things to do, a lot of money on my mind. Tired of all the drive-bys, losing friends to homicide. Put the city on my shoulders like a new Louis Vuitton. Time to pick the city up. Things how I'm a beast in these streets. I won't walk what I slang, how they talk about me. But see, you don't know everything, I got a plan, do you see? Tryna move my partners, take them off the scan, do you see?
So hey everyone, I'm Kyla. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I was one of the people to put this together along with these amazing folks, right? Yeah, give them a hand because they deserve it. They put so much work into this. So whoever is going to be in this Q&A, come and join me up here. Yes, come and join me up here. Yes, you have to share. We share here.
I want to thank you to Kyla, because she's been working on bringing us to Washington University for almost a year.
Yes.
And thank you,
been
Kyla.
a long time in the
really
works.
appreciate, and we
Yes.
love to be here.
Thank you for being here. Really, truly.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Great. You can have mine after. Okay, so as I said, I'm Kyla. I'm a student here at the Brown School, second year. Yeah, I was just like super impressed with the work that you all were doing, and I wanted you to be here along with Veta and also the dean. Dean McKay is like obsessed with you all, so we like needed to make that happen like yesterday, but it took a little minute, but you came today, so that's okay. So I kind of just want to go along this line and introduce yourselves and your roles in the Story Stitchers.
So I'm Susan Colangelo. I'm the founding artist of Story Stitchers, and I was joined with 7 of my friends. We founded Story Stitchers in 2013. I'm currently the president and executive director.
My name is Emira. I am the program director here at Story Stitchers. I've been with the organization for about 6 years now. I started just as a youth council member, you know, then worked my way up to a youth leader, and here I am now.
Hi guys. My name is Brandon, and I've been here since 2017, and I'm just an artist. I'm not special.
He's a leader.
Thank you. Yes, I am youth leader, but I don't use that title.
I'm Bobby Norfolk, and I hail from any Bulldogs in the house. Woo, woo, woo. National Park Service Ranger for 10 years at the Gateway Arch in the old Corn House. Did some stand-up comedy, worked with the St. Louis Black Repertory Company, and Story Stitchers and I discovered one another about 4 years ago. And we are soulmates.
Love you, Bobby.
So we're gonna open this just for Q&A from the audience. So does anybody have a question? If not, I have some questions already, so I'm gonna run. Okay.
How do you rap so fast?
Me? I don't know how to answer that. Practice. A lot of practice and syllables. Are you a spitter? Do you rap? Okay, got you. Well, even in singing, it's all in the syllables. You know what I'm saying? And practicing or whatever. Tongue twisters is real good practice for that. Because if you're writing speed rap, then you're essentially writing tongue twisters. So yeah, just like hours and hours of practice and being frustrated and all that good stuff.
Cool. Anybody else have some questions?
Hi, everyone. My name is Shantae Ford. Hi. I didn't know I was known here. I'm really excited about this. This is my first time learning of this group, Story Stitchers. And I know I probably could just Google it, but if someone could just quickly tell me, like, where did this come from? Who's associated with it? And yeah, and funding. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, how you all established.
So we founded in 2013 to work on gun violence. I'm the stitcher. I was embroidering stories from the news. 2 girls got shot in University City, which is near where I live. I have 3 beautiful daughters. One of them's here tonight. And I thought, I was horrified. You know, they were sitting on their front porch and something about it just woke me up. And then 2 brothers were arrested about a week later. And I heard the mother sobbing on the radio, and I just stopped stitching what I was stitching, and I tried to stitch something about that, and I thought, this is ridiculous. I need to do like the AIDS quilt. I need to work with other people. Like, you know, the AIDS Memorial Quilt invited people across the country to make coffin-size embroidery about loved ones who had died from AIDS. And it changed laws, and it changed research, and it made visible the loss of life and the horror of that illness. And that's what I wanted to do for gun violence. And I'm so excited to work with these artists. We work collaboratively, just like that quilt. We all finish each other's sentences. We look for our strengths. We criticize each other. We don't take it personally. We have fun. We're supported by Washington University, who sponsors our storefront studio, which you're welcome to visit down on the Loop, and the Kranzberg Arts Fund here tonight. We've been in that foundation since 2014, before it even was a foundation, because they gave us a place to meet. And KP Dennis, who had to leave for a birthday of his father, he is one of the founding artists, the only one left with me, and he remembers when the Kranzberg Foundation took us in to the Kranzberg Arts Center every Saturday. So that's how we started.
So whoever wants to answer, what does your process look like when creating a performance?
It really depends on the show, like if it's premiere work or, you know, if we just have to dig something out that we already have. Usually, say we're doing a collaborative song or something like that, sometimes we have some of our adult artists come in and do a writing session with us so we can kind of get our brain moving and all the blood flowing, you know, and kind of get out what we want on our chalkboard wall. And then say like somebody like me or Brandon that plays an instrument will be sitting down just playing a melody to go with the words that somebody is singing. You know, it kind of all just flows together, and from there, you know, we have some of our recording audio recorders, engineers, I'm sorry, yeah, I was trying to find it wasn't coming. But some of our engineers, they will, you know, be there, and we'll just go right into the recording booth and lay it all down, from the instrumentation to the lyrics to whatever it may be. And that's kind of how we just kind of, you know, do it. And even with poems too, like some of the youth have poems that are really raw, and they'll submit it to someone like Miss Susan or me, myself, or even Mr. Bobby. Helps to, you know, help them work out the kinks and the movements and, you know, the fluctuations and different things like that. So it really is an artist collective, and we, you know, do a lot of things collectively.
Great. Questions? Other questions? Yes.
I'd like to know how your lives have been impacted by being in Story Stitchers.
Wow. Wow. That is a question. Okay, so for me personally, growing up in a lot of the cities that you heard described, one thing that I noticed personally is that we need alternatives to the options that are out there, and it's definitely provided one of those things. I was never too heavily into the things that you see us talking about, but I was always very, very passionate about music, and always very, very passionate about helping people that were into those types of things. And so this definitely gave a platform, and something about doing something over and over and over again makes you better at it. And this is definitely the place to do that. So if you're trying to touch people and you're passionate about touching people or making someone's life better, this is definitely the place to be, and you'll likely make your life better in doing so.
Hello, my name's Larry Graves. I was wondering, do y'all do any prison type shows and workhouses or whatever?
Yes, we have done a lot of work in the Juvenile Detention Center off of Vandervender and Enright. And so those guys that are there, and the young ladies too, we show them an alternative to violence, to theft. We show them creativity, because what we let them know is that they have a creative force inside them that's waiting to be tapped. And so all we need to do is just plant the seed and let it germinate. And that's what we do with the incarcerated.
We also work with this, as he's saying, the Juvenile Detention Center in the city as a resource for when the young people are excused from that facility. So they know about us, and they know that they can come and be part of us.
Other questions? Other questions? Other questions? Other questions? Yeah. Okay, great. No, that's okay. Do it.
I'm really intrigued by this. I'm sorry. I work with young people in Illinois. So my inquiry is, are you interested in partnering with like East St. Louis specifically? That's where I'm from.
So actually we are starting, we've been doing school assemblies. And really, we try to, apply for grants so that we can go into schools. And the funny thing is, we've actually have an invitation this week to go to a school over in Cahokia. Be our first time going over there. So we don't have any partnership really over there yet, I believe.
Yeah, the tricky part is the funding, because we pay our artists to perform and to do the community service that they do. So we need to find funding, and we've had trouble identifying funding to go into schools. It's hard to prove that you have an impact when you're performing to students and then you leave. And that's a tricky thing. We know we're having an impact, and I wish you could see how the young people react to our young people. They are so excited when they're there. They copy everything they do, and it's a real, I keep telling the school district, we have something you can use. Please use it. They have a wonderful song about nutrition and bullying, all kinds of things that they've developed. So we're happy to, what I can say is we're happy to work with you to look for funding. Expect about a year cycle. And that's typically once we identify that and then you get into our cycle, we have partners, like we have friends from the Wellston Loop here. We've done 8 performances with them, and we have an ongoing partnership, and we both know what it is now, and we both know we can get funding for it. So it just takes time. A lot of our funding is Missouri based, I'll tell you that. So that might be a little problem, and I don't know that much about grants in Illinois, but I'm happy to work with you on that.
Great. Okay, so I'm gonna allow Dr. Thompson, who is the dean, or associate dean for Office of Diversity and Inclusion, to ask y'all a question that I have posed on her.
The real question that I have for you is, what's your vision for the future? The work that you're doing is incredible. The performance was incredible, so thank you for being here. So what can we look forward to? What are your concerns? What do you want to do going forward?
So I am personally head of the youth program and youth recruitment. We are passionate about our youth, especially the ones that are at risk, the 16 to 24-year-olds, minority especially. And we're trying to figure out a way to be able to host more youth, get them involved in something like this, so that they don't have to turn to the streets and to drug money and to pills and all that stuff. We want to be, and we have been, that spot for young youth and young adults to come and to be relieved of the stress and the pressure of the world around them. We want to be that place. That is our main goal, is to have a place for the youth to come and to feel safe, because they don't always feel safe out in their neighborhoods or, wherever they may be. So we are really focused in on the youth, because that is the future of our city and of our country, and safe to say our world.
Other questions? Susan, did you want to say something?
I would just say that, as Amira said, we're trying to expand the youth program. We're working with the St. Louis Mental Health Board and United Way and Mayor's on a committee now to look at drop-in centers for youth. Our youth have a vision of what they want, which is a facility for young people to come into that has the kind of arts and activities and also counseling and help with housing. We have a serious transient housing problem in especially the young men who they just end up jumping couches and then eventually they get kicked off those couches. So we need a lot more structure for them. We're looking at the Maker District, we're looking at the East Loop, and we're looking at Grand Center for those facilities. So we hope that we can expand and grow, and we hope that Washington University students will be involved. We've had Anaya right now is an intern from sociology, so if you're interested, she's getting credit, she's worked out, let us know. So thank you for the question, Betta.
Any other questions about the work that they do, the work that they hope to do? You have a question? Okay.
You gonna give him
Do
the
it,
mic?
do it. We don't discriminate.
You gonna give him the mic?
How y'all doing? My name is Sean. As y'all know, I'm a dancer of story teacher. I have one question for the audience. I have a question for you guys. Did y'all enjoy the show? I just wanted to know. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. That's all I wanted to know, y'all.
Good question.
Right. Any other questions before I do like a quick wrap up? Yeah.
You can make a donation. Anaya will be happy to sell you a hoodie or take your donation. Thank you. I'd love to have lunch with you.
Storystitchers.org.
Yeah, storystitchers.org.
Cool. Any other questions?
Sure. Just one statement that I want to make. I have to say that a little bit of my background. I was a member of the Association of Black Collegians, which I was a founder of at UMSO in 1971. But I must say that the original Association of Black Collegians started here on the WashU campus in 1968. And it carried over to all of the campuses throughout St. Louis. And I thought that instead of me wanting to burn down the United States, that I wanted to take that energy and put it into creative force, spoken word and poetry. And that anger was then transcended. First, I wanted the overthrow of the federal government, then I started working for the federal government. 180-degree turn with the National Park Service, but I must say that energy is now being transferred to the St. Louis Story Stitchers. And so it's a continuum. As a student of psychology and a student of history, I know full well that history is a continuum. What goes around comes around. And it is time for the Story Stitchers. It is time.
What? Oh, I have one more question. Unless anybody else has another question before I like close it down. Oh, where? Oh, are you sure? Okay. Okay. So my question, just to close it down, like, what is the message that you're wanting this audience to take away from the work that you, like, the amazing work that you have done today, as well as like the youth in this community? Like, what do you want? If there was one thing that they were to remember, what would it be? What would you want?
Well, I'll start that and then I'll pass the mic to Brandon. He's gonna have two mics.
You had no mics, and now you have several?
You're the young Buddha.
Okay.
As I mentioned in my little segment earlier, the human brain is hardwired for story. Everything we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell comes to a story. And so the human brain is hardwired for story. And so what we do, our collective purpose, is to let the audience, the planet, know that the story has to be continued and that story is passed on from one generation to another. There was this disconnect a couple of decades ago between the millennials and the boomers.
that has to be stemmed. People talk about old school and new school. It's just school.
Okay. All right, so I think as a collective, Story Stitchers, our message and what we're trying to do as a whole, we all have different parts to play in different pieces and different ideas of how we feel we can make this happen. But our message as a whole, obviously we want to do things like stop gun violence and stop things that are destroying minorities. But what we're trying to do is create an environment where there's more understanding. I believe that there's still a disconnect personally. And when I say an environment of more understanding, I mean on both sides. We want youth that are suffering from having less than to understand that there are alternatives to what they think their choices are. And we want people that don't have to live in these environments to understand that not everybody is a lost cause. You know, not everybody that steals something does something because they feel like stealing. You know what I'm saying? Some people just don't want to starve, you know? And so what we're trying to create an environment where the picture that you see, you understand that there's more to the picture than what you're looking at or what you're saying. And that's what we're trying to do as a collective.
All right, so I just want to close this down by saying thank you all so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Like, this was such a blessing to have you all here. Thank you, Veta and the Office of Diversity and Inclusion for putting this on, as well as Dean McKay for allowing us to use this space. Thank you all for being here, for engaging, for just being here. Yeah, like, this was a